No, I just. Oh, okay. We're good. Good morning, everyone. Started. How we come right into that here? Okay, Zoom, can you guys hear us?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, we're gonna start in just a second. Let's see.
It was fun. It was fun to, go through, you know, it was her time, first time flying. So like having seen her as a master, being on a plane.
Was it just doing?
No, Rob. Yeah, she just like. No, she let me go in there and I was like, no, you can see it from right here. You've already been in 500 stores. We did go to FAO Schwartz, which gave me so much insight.
I'm sure.
I took a video of one, you couldn't see it because she was walking up the stairs, but they were like lighting up, but every few seconds she would look back and. And then we ended up getting her a toy there, a Dorby thing, a magic trick. But there's so many people
Yeah,
in this store.
that's what.
It's yeah, I think it's good. And many times I would like get like in certain situations, I was like, all right, I'm overwhelmed, too many people, get me up. So when I'm claustrophobic, not get on the elevator, to go to the top floor. Because you're jammed in there, like starting, and then you go up 69 floors. It's very quick. New York.
What was it? What place you're talking about?
Oh, all of them.
I love it.
Yeah.
Everything.
Like, I think we went through the 9/11 museum, which is interesting to teach a child about something that you lived through, right? Like,
Yeah.
like your experience of what happened that
Yeah.
day, but what it really was, you know, or explain that to somebody who wasn't alive then. But again, they try not to make
That's
it
part of it.
so scary.
The history, yeah.
And they're not there in their education yet. They're still learning about George Washington. We'll get there. But like, we're on Native American to the third.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so she's like on Native American and.
Yeah, nothing.
Exploration. But there's this part inside of it, have you been there?
No.
To the museum, okay, so when you go in, you go through a bigger part of it, and they kind of, there's this one section, you go through another door, and it takes you on the timeline of like the breaking news story, all the way until the squash fire trucks that were smashed, like the building. And beyond, but when you go in there, it's kind of tight, but they don't limit the number of people in there. So I halfway through, like, too many people, and I was just trying to get out. If there's no way, like, push your way through, like, get to the other end, and it's about 40 minutes. From the time you go in the door, to get through.
So you start feeling
And
like.
there's people who are living in their emotions, like of their experience.
Yeah.
That.
I mean,
And I
sure.
respect that. I just want to. Yeah, so but we did it, went through the whole thing, it was so neat to see her experience,
Yeah,
all the
I want to
different.
take my kids to New York too, and especially spending time with yourself.
Oh,
We are having a conversation. We're gonna go ahead and get started, sorry. Hopefully you can hear me. If not, go ahead and let me know in the chat. I'm gonna try to speak up. I don't have the loudest voice. All right, so we are gonna get started. My name is Lucy Sena, Market Center Tech Trainer. That's Brian Riggs. He is with Diane Endeavors, which we have a partnership with the printing company. They're incredible. He's gonna do some cool things later. And this is Carrie Foster. She's super awesome. We love her. She's gonna show you some cool practical things, and she has some samples of what she's done. So I'm gonna kind of take us through Canva, get started, do a little bit of that. So Canva, you can have a free account. There is also a pro account, which is a paid for account. That's what Carrie and I have. So we will ultimately be working into this. However, if you have a free account, there's a ton of stuff that you can still do. And a lot of this is what I'm gonna show. When you're creating an account, it'll ask you if you want to go in with your Google, and you can. And then it's gonna ask you a couple of questions, like what small business you have, and you'll go through the process. Eventually, you'll come to this page. This is kind of the primary page, and I want to show you guys just a couple of things. So here, there's different sections of what you can look for. I don't know if some of you are aware, but you can do like a beautiful presentation in here. So that's right here under presentations. There's also the social media posts that you've probably seen. All of that is here. Videos, yes, I've played with that. That's really easy to use. So highly recommend if you have like cool drone footage or even just pictures, because it'll take you through that. You can do it here, and it's not hard to do. Print products, websites, and there's some more stuff, and Carrie will go into some of the stuff that she does, but I kind of wanted to show you guys this. So this is kind of what you want to start with. You want to go on a search to do whatever you want to do, and you can use the words real estate if that's exactly what you're looking for. So last week I was doing a real estate listing presentation. That's what I put in there, and it popped up with several of them. I know there's a couple of free ones, so feel free to just look that up. But today I wanted to do a business card, okay? So we're gonna just do business card and see what pops up. You're gonna get a lot of options. Now you can put free in there if you're just using the free account. That's a great way to start the search, or you can use other filters. Let's say you want it to be landscape or rounded corner, whatever the case is, like that's what you can do. You can also do the style, the theme, and then somewhere down here we can choose the color. So I'm gonna choose black, and I'm gonna click apply. That's still gonna be a lot, but we can always change the colors and the fonts. So if you kind of like what something looks like, or if the icons are really cool, feel free to just grab that. So let's see, I'm gonna grab, and the ones that are pro will have like a little pro, like a crown. The other ones, like this one, would be free for you to use and like structure how you want it. So we're gonna use this one just for today. So we'll open it up and it'll kind of show you what it is, and then we can customize this template. That's what we want to do. So here we get to this section, and now we've got some options here. Design, we can go to elements. If we want to put a picture of ourselves here, we can totally do that. There are some frames down here that we can add for your photos. But once again, if they are part of the pro package, it'll tell you, but you can always look and see what you have. Lines and shapes, graphics, all of that stuff is here. So that is part of the elements. Under brand hub, which is specific to pro. So if you don't have the pro account, you won't have access to this. However, if Carrie, for example, has a color palette, and I know you do. So she has it here. If she is able to put all her colors in there, yes, ma'am.
Do you see how the logos, the Foster thingy?
Yep.
Do you have to have the proto to create those? Or how do you just search the
You
logo?
can upload that into your vote, you know, you can upload that and edit it,
Did someone else make that for you though?
yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
can you make that in Canva though?
Yes.
Can you show me how, or sorry, I didn't mean to hijack. Maybe when it's Q&A.
So that is a, what do you call it when the background's removed?
Transparent.
Yeah, so, and I can change the color, if you scroll over to the right, I've got the headshots in there, I've got KW's logos in there. Some of them have the background, some of them don't, and on my logo, I can change the color of that to meet whatever.
Yeah.
If I wanted it to be gold, you can change the color to gold to fit.
Yes,
Designed.
to answer your question, yes, you can create logos in here, because it's got like that cursive writing, if you like that, you can also like curve your letters, do a little beautiful thing.
Yeah.
If you have that ability, there's some people that do, and that's amazing. So yes, you can add the fonts that Carrie likes, she can add them here, all of, like she said, her headshots and the head, and the color related logos, she can add all of that here, so this is a good thing to do, if you want to pay for it, and it's something that you're gonna use a lot, definitely do that.
And if you don't have just to, like, Ted, if you don't have the pro version, you can still upload the image. You just don't have the app, the spot to click on and get to it quickly, but you can still upload
Yes.
the images and just scroll down through your images and plug it in.
Yes, great way to transition, because right here is where we upload stuff. So you can upload your photos, your logos here, and then just kind of house them here. If you're doing like a listing presentation and you want to feature some of the houses that you've had, this is where you would upload that. If you're doing like like a market snapshot or something, you can have all kinds of stuff here, but this is where you would upload that, like she's got shelter on here too. So if you're doing something with shelter, and they're co-branding maybe an event with you, you can have that shelter logo in there as well. But this is where you would upload all of that if you don't have the pro account, and you can access all of this stuff. Great, is this your listing, Carrie?
Yes, that was a recent list.
So she had a listing, and I'm assuming that you made flyers or open house flyers with that. So this is where she uploaded all her pictures to that. So that's really cool. She's gonna talk about all that in a moment too. Under text, you would have your headings, your subheadings. If you use recent ones, it's great. It kind of keeps them there. So if you like that kind of style, you would have it there. And it would take you to there. And then draw, you can just actually like draw stuff on there. So if you wanted to highlight something in a flyer, make it look kind of cool like that, then you can do that. There are some apps that you can use here. Even a QR code creator, which I like the ones that Canva creates, because you can kind of make them different colors, and they're really sharp, they're really cute. I like the way that they look, so that's something that you can do. And then if you're doing videos and stuff, this is where you would do that. But going back to our design, so we have this, and like Carrie said, we can change the colors. So up here, we have all our tools. This is gonna give us, this is the font that we're using, this is the size of this specific one that I clicked on. So if we want to change the font to something different, maybe we like the way this one looks, we could do that. And we're going to stretch it a little. Yep, just put them in there, but you can do that. So as well, that is an easy thing to do, but also we can change the color of it. So if I like pink, and that's what we do, okay? And you can put any, what's that called, a vex code, any vex codes here, you can also just type in pink, and it'll pop up with a bunch of different things for you. So it's really nice and intuitive of what you're trying to find. So if that's kind of a loud pink and I want something a little softer, then I go there. All right. Maybe I don't like the way that this looks, and I want something different. Then I would go to elements and look for like a circle. Yeah, that was better. But can you black, so I can see it. There we go. Just that easy. So if you have, once again, you're not working with the pro version, but you have some, there will be options for you of what you can use. and what you can fix there. Also, let's say that I want a background image here. I'm gonna go back to elements, and look for a background image. Let's say I want like a key or something. Maybe I like this one. So I'm gonna put this one in the background. There we go. But I don't want it so loud, so I want to like make it just a little more transparent. Okay, you can change the transparency, so there's some things that you can do there, to give it just a little bit more of you, and you can use whatever photos you paid for, all of that stuff, just to do that. And then, position, you can layer them. There are some animation features too, if you're looking for like a presentation that has like little hearts going up the side, or like little station, you can do that as well. But that's just, you know, you've got a lot of options here. And then with that background image, you can also click edit, and there are filters you can use if you want. In the pro version, you do have a background remover, so if you're like, you take a photo of yourself and you're like pointing and you want it on your flyer, because I know some agents do that, you can remove the background photo and it's just you doing this. I would say a hot tip, because I've used different photos, is to have either a dark background or a very light background for that, not something that has lots of different, like a tree or something. It just helps for them to erase the background photo there. Anything, okay, there's a question in the chat. Is the speaker mic on? Yes. The speaker mic is on. All right. Any questions so far on any of this yet?
Lucy, how do you have the QR code under apps?
It's under apps. And so you would just go down here. Now it doesn't have the pro thing on it, so I don't know if it's available for just a free account.
Yeah.
It is, okay, good to know. And then, so you would just click use here, Matt,
Yeah,
enter that URL that you wanted to go to.
Gotcha. Like your landing page or something.
Yeah, your landing page, and then you'll just click on generate a QR code, and then you can add it to your whatever design you're doing. Yeah, it's great.
So that one just does a link, is that?
Yes.
If you're looking for something, one that we use is, there are a million, the one that we use a lot is, I think it's QR-code-generator.com. I can send you a link, but it'll allow you to create one, like, if you're thinking about for your business card, like a contact. So like when you scan it, it will pull up all your information. It's free, you can do that and download a PNG of it and use it. So if that was the question for a business card or something, you know, or some other than just a website.
Yeah.
That's a good trick. So if you scan it, you get to a digital card that you can save
Correct.
in your contact book. Or a good idea for this QR code is to do a calendar meeting.
Yes.
If you want to schedule a consultation or something like that, you can just click on my QR code to schedule an event.
Yep. Calendly, and or you can even do it like a listing that'll go to like a landing page if you have one.
And you can create one as well.
That's very good. Good to know. So, that's kind of the design portion of it. I didn't go into a lot of the different elements, but there's graphics. So if you like the look of those little icons, like the phone and the mail and the little arrow, there's a bunch of those on here as well. So you can add those to whatever you're creating, which is really lovely. And then if you wanted to add a photo, you can just really add a photo, or you can do like a frame for it. Trying to find Oh, it's in there. There we go. So if we just add her in here.
Now remove the background. I've done that before, and it's fine.
Let's do that.
I'm going to show up.
Yes. Click edit photo, we're gonna remove the background.
Does the layering allow you, like, if you want to put her face behind the letters, is that what the layering is?
Yes. Exactly. Oh. Done. Okay, there we go. Oh, there she is. That's fun. You're like floating in space. I'm not trying to make this beautiful, but here we go. That's a little better. So you could do that as well, but, you did the background. Okay, so yes, you can add that now. If you want it like in a circle, there's lots of photo frames that you can choose from in the elements section. I always just type in like circle frame. And then you can add that, and then add Carrie's picture there. And then you can resize it to all you need to, instead of just adding it the way it is. You can add it that way. Okay, so, yes, go ahead.
That's under elements.
It's under elements, and there should be, I think there's a frame section, yeah, frames,
Use it circular, right?
yeah. And some of them have like scallops, so just be careful when you're out there. And there was one that I thought was just a rectangle, but it had like a line down the middle. So just be aware of that. You sometimes you don't see it until you actually put a picture in there. So just be aware of that. But yeah, all of the frames are here. Okay, now when you're finished, you give it a title, otherwise it's gonna download as minimal black and gold personal business card. So you would just title it whatever you want, maybe like modern Lucy business card or something. You give it that title, and then what you can do is click this share button. Brian will tell you what to do if you're sending it to Diane Endeavors. So I'm not gonna steal his thunder, but you can download it. And when you download, it'll give you the option to either do a JPEG, a PNG, PDF, print, any of that stuff that you want. Then you'll save it and print it however you would like to. If you're gonna work with Diane Endeavors, it's a different process, but I'll let him tell you that. And then Carrie, you're gonna touch on that. And then it'll stay, so once you have saved this, let me give it a different name, and then you can. Okay, so once I'm done with this and it's saved. When I go to home, it's gonna be, generally it's that very first one, under recent designs, which you can also create some folders if you want, under your projects. And add things in there, whatever you need to do. So that is what you can do in your projects. I don't know if you've done that, if you have different projects that you work on.
Right now, I need to create some folders, because right now it's a big pile of the project. Go back.
Just the project.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
But I typically what I do is you can search under Canva or just your project, when you name it, and I want to go back to it, say 2 years later and create it,
Yeah.
I can just say spring.
Yes.
And spring things will come up in my project.
all of your projects.
And I recommend for you to come up with a system for naming things. So, so that you'll be able to find them, because it will become a mess, and as well-intentioned as you may be wanting to, organize it, you probably. So, like, if it's in.
Pull down the examples of that.
If it's a just listed postcard, or if it is a open house flyer, maybe you put OH at the beginning of it, or, just listed, or use sort of the same naming structure, so that when you want to pull this into account, you can search the thing that you keep the same stuff. Because if you just name it the address one time, and then it's like open house card and whatever, it will be a harder mess than the usual mess.
use the chat system from command, this thing, it will make it like.
Oh, that's a good idea. There, I like that. Okay, so that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys. I'm gonna turn it over to Carrie.
Okay.
And I'm gonna grab her little samples. Yeah. And pass them around so you guys can see what she's done.
So I just saw an example, I'm gonna go over that, why not just go over one that I just did? So here are all the things that I have created and written. Mailers, this is the ones that are paper or ones that are going out to my neighborhood now. So I just created a couple of those. This one was, an update that I did on January 23rd, including the bottom of it. And then this one is going out today. Or excuse me, this is one I actually did last year. I'm doing another example of, I'm doing another version of this one to the neighborhood today. So I pulled up something that I did a year ago, and just changed a few words and then, mailing it back out.
How often do you send these flyers to you? Like a specific subdivision, let's say you're.
I just started, farming this neighborhood and I'm adding to it every month. So every month we're gonna get something.
Yeah, mail or do you drop it out?
So my goal is, my coach, in order to farm the neighborhood, to make it manageable, I send a mailer every month and I draw knock 20 houses a week. Where they get something from them, where I knock on the door, if they don't answer, I put it in front of their door and for the next one. They do, I have a conversation with them about it. Basically, it goes something like, hey, I'm your neighbor, just wanted to make sure, or my new script is, hey, it's Thursday, and every Thursday I go out to meet and say hi to my neighbors, and I wanted to drop this off to you. Did you know that I am a realtor? No, I didn't know that. Oh, great. I live down the street. Here's a resource for you for any of your real estate questions. Do you have any questions about real estate today? No. Well, if you ever do, here's my phone number. Here's all the things and a lovely mug to drink your coffee out of. And if your husband wants one too, I'll bring it.
Oh, nice.
Love that.
So this goes in that, and that's what I'm going to show you through the examples. I'll show you what I did to make this. This is my spring for this month, 20 a week hot buy. It goes into a bag with a gardening spade that I got at the Dollar Tree and some bulbs in there. And then it just says, welcome spring, real estate is blooming. And then on this side, it says, now is the perfect time to find your dream home. Be happy to answer any of your questions regarding buying, selling, investing, or increasing your home's value or the current market status. Are you thinking about buying or selling? Call me for a free market analysis. And then it has my contact information on the bottom. So I can show you how to create that if you want. And then go over some social media stuff too. So I saw it and while we speak, and I was like, oh, this is a perfect example, and I brought it with me today. So I'm not a designer, and that's why I love Canva so much. So everything, most everything, you know what? I say most everything. So everything I do comes from Etsy, and I have spent hours going through templates and trying to recreate the wheel. But if you want to spend $5 on Etsy, you're gonna save yourself hours and hours and hours of time. Let me see if I can figure out how to log in. With my 500 million emails out there. Right. Yeah, just for example, I'm gonna go over here to my purchases. This is everything that I've purchased on Etsy. Even t-shirts. Nice. I've got a real, so one of the things that I was talking about is that you know how Mike's always preaching about wearing like something on yourself that says real estate. And I love to work out at the gym, so I got some gym t-shirts that say real estate on them. And you got this one, and there's only sarcasm is burned calories. I love that.
That would be so.
I know I bought this one on here. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, so I purchased this for a whopping $4.29. And then it will give you instructions on how to download, so I just go here, download the template. Very easy, I buy only templates that can be edited on Canva, and it'll tell you to log in, blah, 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 yada, yada. And then it says, click here for your 4x6 postcard, and yes, thank you, I will take that one. And it you say use template, and it will redirect you straight to Canva. Now, it has this exact image on there, except for, I just didn't want that flower. I wanted a different flower. So I went over to photos here, and this is a pro. You can put, I think I put something like spring, wow. And it came up with a bunch of different options. And again, you can see the ones that are pro and the ones that are not. You can see this one, but just writing it in the right spot. And what's that? There it is. So you can change the background here, and then you just edit your information. Your local realtor can say the same, so that is what I'm trying to convey. And I'm doing it so you can see how that in a minute. You can create great mailers. And so here's the back, but it's gonna give you options. I decided out of the options of detergent, this is one that if you were gonna mail it, if I was gonna send this over to Brian to mail, I could send over this back page to him and he can mail it out to a farm. By printing the addresses of the things on there. Since this is a pop by, and I'm gonna put it into an envelope, I decided to go with this background. Now. I did change a little bit about that, and I'm frustrated on it. Here you.
How much is this then?
$4.29 is what I paid for this. And here's that frame. I wanted the frame to be a little different, so what did I do about it? I think I did this, and all of this, I moved it up. I took it up, select all of it, move it up. Oh, this right here. I think what I didn't like about this is the way, this is how I took something out that it needs. I went to. Change the frame, because I think when I went into the, I put my picture there. I wanted it to be longer. Usually I have to bring it down so it's correctly. So you can move and design it and change any of these designs very easily. So that's how you move things around. It can create beautiful flyers in less than 10 minutes that can then be printed for either the same day.
Typically, yeah, I mean, if you send me for everybody else, we can do it.
If I want to do this pop by tomorrow, I can just send him the file. I can send it to you through Canva, right? And then you can make any extra edits that you need to do within the lead line
Yes.
and print this out, have it ready to mail tomorrow.
Yeah.
For the day.
So the only thing you're going to be worried about will be the bleeds. You're not going to change what we have sent you.
So, well,
Unless it's like right at the border.
yeah, I mean, and if we're gonna change something, we'll send it back to you and ask you, you know,
Approval or something.
tell you that we needed to change.
Oh,
Carrie, when you send your flyers out, you, put them in a hand address envelope.
Yeah. And one thing that Brian will talk to you about later that I'm very interested in is he has a machine that makes them like handwriting. So
You
if
can
you
show
don't
us some
want,
pieces.
if you don't want to handwrite all of your envelopes, then Brian can do that. Okay, so that's it, and then you just download the ones that, if you want to download just this page. So when you go to download, it'll ask you all pages or, and I'll say, no, I only want the first one and the second one, and it's done. I like to see in a that's for printing.
No, PDF. PDF, that's what
Yeah, and I do that for flyers. And if I'm uploading it to print it. You want me to do that?
Oh, yes.
Okay, do that. If you want to post it, you can do that. Okay. So download it PDF, send it to the printer. It, now for, so that's how I created this beautiful. Flyer.
That's good.
Okay. So, what other wonderful things you can do on Canva is social media. So I love to do the same thing. I buy posts from Etsy. I search real estate, social media posts. I like to buy, so I found my girl who does the same style of content every single month. So fonts stay the same, images have the same branding look to them. So you can find a Etsy artist or graphic designer that has a style that you like, and you can go through their entire library of available content. And so this is an Etsy purchase that I made. Usually my monthly post will be about $20, and you're gonna get up to 70 options on social media. Now, we don't always want to do just this kind of content, right? You're gonna put in listings, you know, all of the other personal touches that you want to make. But this is for Instagram, and it gives you all of these options. This is a post that I made on Saturday, and it talks about the season of home buying is right now. Everyone's hunting for a new home for Easter. It comes, a lot of times will come with marketing tips or buyer tips or seller tips, and you have all of these different options. I've done this one too many times. So we're retiring the peeps. But last year I did, you have your peeps call my peeps. If your peeps are looking for real estate, please go. But it's super cute post. I love it. So lots and lots of different options. Obviously, you're not going to post 70 photos, but it just gives you ideas. And to be honest, I purchased this last April, and I just went back to it and took the ones that I didn't use from last year. So $20, I'm gonna get at least 3 or 4 years of April posts out of this designer. Okay, so if you want to create a social media post and post it through Canva, I'm gonna use this example today. So what you do is just copy the content for this one square. Now, we're gonna create a new design. Instagram post square. And post here. Sometimes the background picture doesn't come when I don't get everything. If that doesn't come, I need to select just the background. So, like it on. This. Control copy if you're on a PhD. We'll do that for you. Need for page, and then there's the buffer. So help my business blue. And my photo in that little. Yeah.
Is it because it's highlighted?
So,
If you just drop it in there and then hover above that, if it's frame, you can make it. So then
do you know what track? So I do this.
from there, click on it and try and drag it into that circle.
Well, I'm gonna get this, it's gonna work.
And if you resize it, make it smaller,
You should just.
and drag it.
Topic is,
Then, so if it's a green.
yeah.
Maybe we need to bring it to the top.
You're right. I'm gonna send this back. There it is. So I sent the image back because it was over the frame that I'm trying to fill. So I took this big balloon, sent it back one time. You still see it, but it opened up the frame for my picture. Now my picture I always edit it, bring it down to the top of my head. And then change.
So it makes sense, this thing makes layers.
So my name is always too big for the font, I'm gonna take that down. But you can also, if it. If the font is stretched out too much or too compressed, you can do letter spacing for different fonts. That is really helpful. You want to cursive and look cursive? Yeah. Okay, change all of the. Okay. Help my business blend. Now we're ready to share it. We're gonna go over to share. Now, to schedule it, it is a pro. So schedule. We're gonna do this on Wednesday. We're gonna do it 7:13 in the morning. You do have to connect your social media, your Instagram and Facebook pages. So we're gonna go on to Instagram. I'm gonna write the message later because I love to look smart. So I go to ChatGPT and I put in there, create an Instagram post about real estate blooming in people. And it will write a beautiful post. I'll edit it and I'll tweak it a little bit, copy and paste it in here, but here I'm just gonna say, hello, my business. And then you can hashtag it all day, you can put all the emojis in there that you want to, and then hit schedule. Now, this only goes to Instagram, so if I wanted to also go to Facebook, I'm gonna make a copy. It takes the exact copy of it, share it again on the same day at the same time. Then I'm gonna take Facebook. I'm gonna copy and paste my message that I put into the Instagram one. then I'll schedule that one for the same day. On Facebook.
In that box, I use I use Facebook, you call it Metasuite or something like that. Yeah, to schedule stuff like this.
Okay.
So when you do it here,
That's new, right?
you still.
Meta just rolled that out to where you can schedule things through Facebook, is that
Oh,
correct?
really? I haven't used it for a while.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but here you can put your hashtags and everything in that box.
Oh, everything.
Everything,
All of it.
okay. So everything that is the content, the copy of that post, you can do it through here,
Yeah.
that's cool.
There's also some, a website called Later. I don't know if you've heard of it. If you were to design this in Canva and then download the JPEG or PNG, you can set up an account with Later and you go and you can make every account, all of your stuff, and click and schedule the post. And you can actually save all the hashtags that you want to do, so you can do that, so you know, whatever they're optional.
And so did you see what I did? I made a mistake and posted on 2 different days. And did you see how I fixed it?
Now I was looking at it.
You can just drag and post. So actually, when I was going quickly, I posted this one on the 12th and this one on the 13th on Facebook. So I was like, oh, I can just move it around.
That's cool.
These are 2 other posts that came from that same grouping that I purchased. And this is the one that went out on Saturday, are you hunting for a new home? And then here's the message that I put with it in the hashtag. And that one you can find
Do
on
you
the
get
box.
your hashtags from ChatGPT or
It does come up with some of them, and then I just add to them. I do FH.
what about the icons? The emojis, everything comes with it.
If you want to add to it, you can. If you want to take some out, you can, but it did come up with some fun emojis. It is so cool. I love ChatGPT. Like, I don't even talk anymore. I don't print anything unless it's gone to chat.
I
And
just started using it, but I'm afraid of, them being in my computer. And I don't know if I'm not putting accident just
I
pick
just
it up on
think that
my computer.
it's already inside my body. Yeah, that's comments, right? Like, they probably know every move I make. And I'm like, we're all gonna go there.
They can know everything about me or on my social security. I want them to know.
Yeah. So, yeah, I do that for this little stealing, account. But, I mean, it is amazing because whenever I wanna do a listing description, it would take me hours and hours. I would go through every other agent's listing in that same neighborhood to see if they had little nuggets about the neighborhood I didn't have.
Yeah.
And how they worded some things, like maybe this is similar model to other homes in the neighborhood, and they describe it really well. And then I have to switch it over into my own words.
Yeah.
So now I go to ChatGPT and I'm like, write a listing description for 3 Main Street. And it might be garbage. It might only have like 20% of it correct, but the words that they come up with, the descriptive words are amazing. And it's so much easier to write a listing description, and I don't care what Betty Sue wrote about the house down the street in York, because my listing description is now better than hers.
Yeah.
So, I love that so much. So, I do a lot in Canva. I create, like you saw earlier. So this is the content calendar. It'll show you what's scheduled. I'll go in and adjust this in a little while. So like the post, I'm gonna go and get a description that goes to it with a call to action, because everything that we post or do has to have a call to action on it. It needs to say, call me for this. If you're interested in this, reach out. It has to have like a,
Do you do that in the copy part or in the banner? The call to action.
sometimes both, like this one is going out tomorrow, it's post a pic of your favorite pet. And so that's giving them instructions, and then over in, the description, it'll say, it'll have a callback. Some of, not all of them do, but you want to have at least, 80% of your posts have some sort of comeback. And then I want some of them to have personal touches too, right? Like, I'm out previewing for my client's day, or here, look at what my cute kid did, or something like that. Because you don't want to have posts like this every single day, but when you do have a post like this, you want to have a call to action say why you're posting it and what you should do with the information to come back to. I want to be a valuable resource for you. Rework, put it into chat, I have done that, put it into chat, How many ways can you say, give me a call? How many ways can you say, I want to be your valuable resource, realtor resource, or whatever? And it will come up, and you just use them one by one. Very easy. AI is gonna make our life so much easier. It's a little scary. They're gonna know everything about you, including your nail color, but you're gonna get some really awesome stuff. So another thing about Canva Pro that I love is that it actually does have the, special days already marked on the calendar. So if you're thinking about what you should post during the month, one, Sam, you come up with an amazing list of things to post, you can work off that. Or you can come here and say, okay, Earth Day is the 22nd, and I'm gonna post pictures of my garden and all of the things that I'm loving to do right now in the herb garden I'm starting on the back porch. And then some tips and things that you can do about, did you know that sunflowers actually filter toxins from the air? There are 4 or 5 different shrubs or plants or trees that absorb toxins. When Hiroshima was bombed with radioactive, they planted fields of sunflowers to soak up the radiation in the air. Isn't that a great thing? I learned that just the other day, but wow, master class on an airplane. So I love that feature as well. Okay, last thing I'll go over, I don't want to take everybody's time. The only other thing I wanted to show you that I love is just like we touched on is when you, here's one that I really background of that picture. Isn't that fun?
Ah, that's so cute.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
That was an Instagram post. There are so many available templates on Canva that are free and that you can just get it, pop in your photos of your listing. This is the one that we were looking at earlier. She said, is that your new listing? Yeah. It was actually a lease listing that I had. And so I went into Canva and said lease listing or rental listing, and it came up with this, a similar template to this, and I just tweaked it. And it's so easy.
So you typed in lease listing, this was mine.
Yeah, this is my template that came up, and all of the little icons here. I changed this one because I think the square footage icon at the same time was a little hard to see. So I went into elements.
This is a flyer here. It's nice.
This is a cottage. This is another reason why I use chat. Right, sorry. So it comes up with all of these different elements that can be used in that. And if I like this one, it'll show me other recommendations. Yeah. And it comes up with so many different examples. That was none of and none of these are organized. Presentation, you know, if you've ever been to my 36 touch class, this is the presentation that I created. And I did it just by searching in presentation template. I found one that I thought was pretty and matched my personality. And then I just tweaked it. It had probably words about mumbo jumbo. But I just tweaked each one of these. You can move them around. I changed these because the speaker talking about how many touches. So it's not gonna be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 4 calls a year, 2 client events, 4 promotions, 12 emails. And I created them all for using templates. To Canva. I'm not a graphic designer. To Canva. Any questions? Is there anything that you want to know about? Here's an email signature. If you use Hello Leverage, you can personalize your transaction coordinator signature to meet your brand, to match your brand. This is exactly what my signature looks like, and my closing coordinator, Marie, has a headshot, and I created a signature that matches mine, chooses for all of them. home seller workbook. I love this. It's another extra template that I got, and I drop it off with my clients at a listing presentation. And the information sheet, additional notes, how to prepare your home for real estate photos, prepping your home for an inspection, and for them to fill this out for the new buyer. And when they're trash day, any other additional information that could be helpful. Trying to do all kinds of things. Oh, and you saw the football mailer that was passed around. This is my coveted football mailer. Everybody, if this doesn't go out, I get but hate mail. But I don't know who's playing who. There's another one of those examples of peace. Another, oh, holiday card. So I actually do my holiday cards in Canva now too. I did a memorial service for my grandma. Vendor showcase that I now host for all of the flyers came through Canva. So there's a million different things that you can do. So I would say get in it, work around. I can't wait to figure out the videos that you were talking about earlier. That's my next go-to. Learn about how to put together a fun video, and then I can take that video, drop it into the content planner, and put it out on social media as well. Anything else? Is there any questions?
I'm curious, so I know you've been, you know, in the business for real estate for a long time, and then you're doing a lot of flyers and cards and this and that. How's the return of the people that you send stuff, how the percentage of people that contact you back?
Oh, one last thing. My, like my, presentation. So, necessarily track what my return is on, because what I track the business, and what business I get from it, and I would say 95% referral. So everybody that gets my information is referring me clients, and this goes out to everybody. So I'm just now starting to heavily market and farm different neighborhoods. But so typically these things would go out on social media and it would go into mail. And my objective is just to get in front of them. I just want them to see my face and remember that I sell real estate and that I want to be their realtor of choice. So I got a lot of feedback off the March St. Patrick's Day mailer, because I put a lottery ticket. So a lot of people were texting me going, you know, they're like, my brother sent me a text, and was like, I would find out, nobody can find out. He was like, but it would have been cool if I did. So I got a lot of response from that. It really depends on what you're putting in there. You know, I do mailers, I create all of the invitations, like client events. From here, I create the invitation, I create landing pages, RSVPs, all of that. So those get a lot of interaction. Some of them it's just meh, and some of them are really great. It just
So you mentioned that some stuff is free and the other ones you have to pay. So how is it? You pay monthly?
no, it's an annual membership for $179, and it is where can meet. Like I was telling you earlier, I used to do Adobe Suites because I wanted the photos, the stock photos, along with the design software. It was very hard to use. It was very time consuming. You basically need to be a design professional to use it. I was paying $150 a month for that, trying to come up with what I do in 10 minutes for
Well, that's very important.
It's great. I mean, if we're gonna talk about what we're putting our money into, this is one subscription I would not cancel. I would cancel so many other things before I cancel this. Because all of the things that have that little crown on it are available. So I can go in and find, under photos here. Give me that. Let's do. Living room. I don't like the pictures of living rooms that I have, the listings that I want, and I want it to look really stylish and gorgeous. So I can go over here and look at this gorgeous living room. Put a pop it in there. No, I'm not, it's not the word today, but, I mean, any of these photos that have, that one had a crown on it, hey, so that one's free to me, or it's not free to me, it's included in my subscription.
Yeah, I was doing before Canva, I was doing, through Photoshop and all that. And the main thing is like, if you don't want to get in trouble using images, this, you're paying already for the images right here, have already the, how they call it, loyalties. Or.
Royalties, yeah.
Royalties, yeah.
Royalties.
And in which, the other way I was, if I was thinking of one that was free,
Right.
I could get in trouble, you know?
Yeah, before, it was stealing a lot of photos off the internet, you will get in trouble, and will, if you ever make anybody upset, if they have something to turn you in for, that's one of the things that they can do. So, and these you can use, if you have paid the license to use through Canva.
Now, let's say I get the membership and everything, and then I'm trying to do something, is there like a help number where they can guide you if you have, if you can't figure it out, let's say you can't figure it out?
There are a ton of tutorial training videos. Oh, you can do, I mean, there's new things that they're adding to Canva every single day. New AI, you can dump a photo in there and make one flyer for an upcoming party, and it will create one for you. It'll create 10 for you, and you can pick which style you like best. There are so many things that are available through Canva, and there are thousands of different training videos on it where you can call it customer service.
Carrie, how did you find the living room photos? You just typed it in the search box where?
Under photos down here, so you have two places for photos, one that you upload yourself, which you're gonna be here, under upload. And then down here for photos.
Photos must be for the paid version. I don't see that one.
It might
Did
be
you
there.
go to the app? Go to apps and look there. Sometimes if I can't find something, I'll go to apps here, and then I'll just type it in. And it'll pop up. But I think everybody has photos. I did it when I had the free
Yeah.
version. You just don't have access to the unlimited amount of photos that they have.
Let's see.
Like if I was gonna do that, as far as National Dog Puppy Day, if I didn't like that dog, I could go and put it in any one of these.
Tomorrow is.
I think so, yeah. I hope so, that's where my post is going on.
National Pet Day.
National Pet Day, tomorrow. And then we'll all go. Is there anything else I can show you or no? I can spend all day. on Canva. Okay, Brian, that's all you. If you have any questions, I'm here for you always. We can teach specific classes on presentations, on listing presentations, buyer presentations, anything you want, you just let us know.
Yeah.
And we're here to teach you.
And I think Brian has samples too.
I have some samples, I have some things, my name's Brian, for those of you that haven't met as much, my husband and I own a printing business, and we help you design something, or don't design something, we can help you take it from the internet to real life. Anything that's going to be printed, what kind of print things does anyone currently use? What kind of things are you planning on designing in Canva? Anything, anyone? Flyer.
Everything she thinks.
So, these are flyers. If you, one of the things that I just wanted to point out as far as relates to Canva, what we try to do is we try to meet you where you are. Whether you are a Canva Pro and you have found a template and you want to bring it to me and have it printed, and you can just send me that file, we'll be very happy to just print whatever you've made. If you have started on something and you don't have Canva Pro and it's not the right size and you just laid some elements on the page, send it to us, we can make edits and we can help you make it what you are trying to make it become. Canva Pro does allow you to choose sizes. One of the things that you can't do in Canva without Pro is tell it, I want a 6x11 postcard. Okay, or I want to design a door hanger. And I'm gonna go door knocking and I wanna have real door hangers made. So like, this is a door hanger. This one is for a specific property. Somebody knocked in the neighborhood for, this is my husband and I's house we just sold. But this is not a size that you could do. However, if you put the elements on your page without Canva Pro and you send it to me, we can resize it and sort of move it. For you, somebody sent me a postcard to mail last week, and it was 4x6, and had no place for a stamp or an address. But we made it into a 6x11 postcard to mail out. And we can do those things. This is a 6x11. It's a very popular postcard size because it is very, very big in the mail. And you'll notice that this doesn't have a place for an address because this is done through Every Door Direct, which we can talk about if people are interested. But one of the things, if you're learning about Canva and you, again, I'll show you this, but it's not that you need to spend a ton of time thinking about it because we will help you think about it. But does anyone know what bleed is? Yes? Okay. So this postcard, which is 6x11, was not printed on a 6.5x11 sheet of paper. This postcard printed like this on a 13x19 sheet of paper. So the way that we make print the ink or the toner go all the way to the edge of the paper is by having its bleed. You can see there are little marks here where we put it into a machine that does chop, 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 and cuts it into postcards. So that is always going to be something that we want to keep in mind. One of the things that I noticed here, okay. Let's get back to your business card. There it is. All right, so if you want this black business card, we need it to be able to have black all the way to the edge of the page. And what we would do is go up to File and View Settings and Show Print Bleed. And then you'll see it adds this extra square, this dotted line. It looks really big on a business card because a bleed is always 0.125. It's an 1/8 of an inch. Okay. And you want to also, when you're thinking about, when you're designing something to be professionally printed or to print and be trimmed, you know, another 1/8 of an inch inside is always best. We want to, because, you know, the cutting machine does a really good job, but you know, if it's off 1 millimeter this way, 1 millimeter this way, then it could chop your words or anything like that. It also doesn't look good if it's too close to the edge of the page. So that's also something that you have to think about, like say you did want to have this picture over here in the corner. What we would have to do, we need to move her down here. So in order to obey the safety area, or to be in the bleed, you need this picture to be bigger, because right now, if we put the bottom of her picture where it needs to be, we're only going to see this little part of her, right? One nice thing about Canva is, you know, you can just click and drag on an image to make it larger and it's going to automatically scale it. It's not going to make it funny shapes. But the reason bleed and pictures and things is why I always make sure if you're getting a headshot, make sure you get the uncropped version from the photographer. Okay, just something for you to always have it in place. You know, you may love that cropped shot that they send you that is, you know, just the perfect this right here. But say you want to put it in a circle, or say you want to put it in a different shape, or say you want to put it in the corner. If we had this an uncropped version where we just have just a little bit more, where it's all really going to get chopped off anyway, but we can make sure that there's not a black line there. So that's always good. Just a little tidbit for you. asking for a full uncropped version as well, just keep that so we can use it if ever get. So fleet is important, safety area is important. Full resolution photos, does anybody know what, you know, PPI, DPI, any of that stuff? If you ever get listing photos back, you know how they say, you know, MLS or print? They generally will show you or give you two options to download from their website or whatever. The difference is how many pixels, how many dots make up that picture. And for print, we need 300. It's best to have 300, which this is not important to you, but it's significantly higher than the 72 to be displayed well on a screen. So when you're dropping those images in there, use the high res ones so that when we print it off, it's not fuzzy. That makes sense. So if you are going to send something to us, again, if you don't have Canva Pro and you don't know a damn thing about Canva, but you really want to do something, just start. Either start or call me and say, I want to do this and I have no idea how, and then we can help supply you with something that you don't have to begin. But the templates are really great. You can get other templates from Etsy. The biggest thing that stops people from marketing themselves and using print to do it is thinking that they can't. And executing it and getting it done regularly is speaking to your database regularly is the biggest hurdle. It's not actually coming up with something to print because as you've seen, there are lots of other things. It's actually just executing it. And what you say in it matters almost the least because it's about having your face in front of these people every single month or as often as humanly possible. If you do want to get involved in doing some sort of farm or anything, you know, marketing to your database, you know, then please let me know. We can help you, and we should learn how to set it up in Command as something that will remind you to do it every single month, so that it's like, oh, it's the 5th of the month. It's time to get my mailer out, and then you can, you know, make it part of your routine. Because we watch people start doing things, and then time gets away, and then they think it's not effective because they just didn't do it.
Question for you, if I'm going to mail something with you guys, let's say, this, but no through the EDD, and can I tell you if I want this subdivision, and are you able to get all the names?
Yes, we'll pull the addresses. You just, if you can provide, I mean, I can pull it by a subdivision, but you know, how public record can be, and there can be multiple ones. If you could say, this is an address in this neighborhood, it makes it easier. But yeah, we can pull all that for you, and then we will print it on there.
Can you do envelopes that look like?
Yes, they can. Let me show you one thing, and then I will get to some of that. If you're gonna send something to me to have printed, whether it's a business card or anything at all, when you click the share button in the upper right-hand corner, it is going to give you some different ways to do that. The first is to add people to your team or group. Please don't do this. It does not work well. It is much, much, much easier if you go down under the collaboration link and click only from right here, it says only I can access. If you change this to anyone with link, just like that, you'll see in the center, it actually just went ahead and changed the data. And we can click right here to copy that link. And then you just go to your email client, wherever you use to send email, and email that link to me. One thing that's really nice about that is, let's say you're trying to figure out how to make something and you've got a question about it, we can both open it at the same time. I can see where your cursor is. I can say, okay, well, we need this much space for the address, or that can't be black right there because there's going to be a barcode at the bottom from the post office. Or, you know, what if we moved these and made them all aligned to the left just a little bit more? It will work a lot better. So being able to collaborate that way, if you just email me that way. Yes, openability, you were asking, what was your name?
Claudia.
Hi, Claudia. Openability and tracking is super important. It is why we send mail, right? We want it to get opened. And addressed envelopes, everything we mail has a real stamp on it. It adds, it feels real, doesn't say marketing mail, doesn't have a canceled stamp. We have a handwriting machine. So this is written by a machine. It does not look like a font because the way that people look at handwritten fonts and you know it's a font is because every A is exactly the same. When you write something, even if you're very, very great penmanship, your A's are not the same, and even the same word. Each letter has multiple variations, so it's gonna look like it's handwritten. This is an A2 card. We can do this on any envelope. We would typically print the return address here. This was actually handwritten by the agent once. So she wrote this, I digitized it, and then we printed it on 800 cards. And this is what it looks like handwritten. So, handwritten sheet. They're great for golden letters. It's great for golden letters. It's great for any envelope to mail. You know, we all know, and we do not hide the fact that many people are gonna stand next to the trash can, and as soon as they walk in, they're gonna put whatever you sent them in the trash. But there's a reason that it works, and it's because 86% of people that listed their home only called one person to do it according to last year. So what we wanna do is stay in that, we wanna capture that mind share, right? So even if they're tossing it straight in the trash for 6 months, you know, 7th month when they just got a new job and they see your face and they've seen your face all year. That's what we're after. Mail can be trackable. You can put QR codes on it. You can do different things to make mail more trackable, but figuring out where your deals came from, like you were saying, is really one of the best ways to do that. Figuring out if you are marketing to your sphere and they're reaching out to you, and you know, Gary Keller said that the math is very simple, and this is where 201 comes from, is the fact that if you market to your database and you have the math simply, I believe it's 12-2 for met contacts. So if you have 12 people in your database and you're marketing and speaking to them regularly, you should see 2 deals. And if you are farming, you have to cast a little bit wider net because it's 50-1 for unmet. That's why I always encourage people, if you're not speaking to your database in their mailbox or any other way, start, because people that already know you, want to do business with you, are the people that we should spend money on first. If you have limited, you know, if you use red light, green light, trying to figure out where to spend money. So, but if you have a golden letter, I have wire letters and dressing fantastic. What kind of things can I share with you that be interested in?
My 2 cents on flyers is I have not done higher end luxury flyers for some of my listings. Because one, I get intimidated by what the best format is of them. And I want to talk to somebody. I think having Brian as a resource to make flyers like this are amazing. And I want you to share.
So this is our Gatefold XL. This is one of our really, really popular flyers. The XL Gatefolds, it's even easier than Canva. You send me 11 photos from your photographer and I'll send you back this. We'll pull the listing description from the MLS for you. If there's something you'd like to be different. So you've already written it once or had ChatGPT help you out with that. And just send me the photos that you want to have. It's typically between 9 and 13 photos. We can, you know, arrange it sort of however. But these are really wonderful, and I taught a class on listing materials and stuff, which there's not a, we all know that nobody got home from looking at homes. No buyer got home and said, gosh, they just had the prettiest brochure. We should buy that one. It isn't, but you're listing the people that own the home. It's more about your listing presentation, and when someone engages you to sell their home, how are you planning to market it? Well, these are the type of marketing materials that we use, and this is how I'm going to send postcards out to make sure that we have a packed open house, inviting the neighbors. I'm going to use custom door hangers to invite people to the open house so that we have the most number of people there. What's important to you in getting your homes? You know, those kind of things are really why people spend on the big book, which used to be up here, left one. You know, I just had, when I was coming in, I was on the telephone, a guy did those for a listing. The owner of the house is like in some big, you know, renovation group. He's the president of some big renovation group, in Decatur. And he's like, I need 150 of those this afternoon because he wants to pass them out. You know, it really impressed the owner of the house whose listing it was, right? So the higher end flyers are really, and they're not that expensive. You know, the truth is you can save some money and you can, you know, if you were to print an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper out on your copy paper at home in an inkjet printer, and it has a lot of pictures on it, it could still cost you up to 60 cents. Right? And it's not gonna be full bleed. This is 85 cents. Okay,
Is there a minimum order?
no, there is on the gatefolds. We ask that you get 20. The gatefolds, because it is a little bit more to set up.
So these no mean,
No,
but those yes.
right, those we ask you to get 20. But then if you need 5 more, you know, you had one open house and you're having another one, and so you need to pad what you got with another handful, we'd be happy to print you 5 more. But those are $1.65.
And this is a real life scenario. I was showing homes to a client, I sold their house. And I had flyers from the course in their house that were printed on paper and all this. And, we're going through, she picked up the flyer for that home, and it was so much nicer than the one I had put in her home, and I looked terrible.
Yeah.
So do this, for 85 cents a printer, you're looking fantastic, and also looking great for your seller, which could then be referral. You do a nice job, you will get more business.
Summer house is, I can't remember what weight it is, but not something that you can run through your home printer. It's a heavier cardstock. It might be, 10 points.
10 more maybe.
And to have somebody that you know that is gonna look at it and edit it and make sure that it's all, you're not sending it off to Wawa land, it's just such a great.
We'll also keep you legal. We'll tell you if you're breaking the law. We add disclaimers on everything, even when it is something not required by rec. Because if you are, and you are advertising, unless we are explicitly told that someone doesn't want to follow our advice, which we will still print you what you want, but we will make sure that we tell you. You know, if you are marketing a listing, a specific listing property for sale, it must have your broker's phone number on it. You cannot use generic KW logos like this. That's a big red no-no right here. So.
Yeah, look at that. If you were selling your computer to KW, it would need to say that.
Yes. But we do pretty much anything that's putting ink or toner on paper. We do banners, we do all that stuff. It's just not done in-house. We do yard signs, we do core blasts, we do tumblers. Brought little baby riders for everybody.
Oh, maybe you're.
So how many directionals does everyone use for their open houses? Okay, good. What do open house directionals do besides just get people to the door?
Name recognition.
Name recognition? Yeah, this gives you an opportunity to talk to more people. For my mother-in-law's team, anybody that's going to do an open house, when you are putting your directionals out, you go knock on the door and ask permission. You go knock on the door and ask, I'm so sorry to bother you, when I'm doing an open house for so-and-so down the street, can I put this directional in your yard and take it up after the night? Sure, everybody else just puts in the yard and doesn't ask. And you go, thank you so much, I appreciate it. And then we send them a $5 Starbucks gift card next week. So you already, you know their address,
Love
you
it.
got their name.
How great is that?
So the more directionals you're putting out, more opportunity you have to then add them to your database,
Have that conversation.
have that conversation. So, there's lots of things that people, and this is why I made that listing marketing class, about leveraging your listings to produce more listings. There's lots of marketing materials that people think, I don't really have to have it, I don't need it. It is not to sell the house. It is to get more listings. So, a little bit of that. What other questions? Is there anything about it? I don't know, it's not on the schedule, but everybody that came said that it was really helpful, so, I'll teach anytime, I guess we just need to add it on the schedule. What else can I share with you or teach you or tell you about?
How much is the price for this?
Door hangers come two ways. They come like that, which is actually got the hole in it to hang on the door, and those are 75 cents. And then, or we will do a postcard size, you know, it's a similar size, but in a baggie that has a door hanger. Sometimes people like to put a pen in there, they've got other swag or something like that. Those are also 75, and we bag them for you.
And what's the minimum for this?
We try to have good prices and really no minimums on pretty much anything. So, we try to, yeah, meet you where you are and help you in whatever way that we can. But,
Make sure there's.
oh, door hangers are great reason, you know, open houses are a great reason to door knock. And so doing property specific door hangers, it's a really great way, you know, because a lot of people, you know, we know the door knocking is very, it works, but you know, everyone's like, what do I say? What are, you know, are they gonna be upset with me? I was talking to an agent just the other day, they were like, it was the first time they'd gone door knocking, they were having an open house. And she knocks on the door, the woman comes to the door and she says, I'm not selling my house and I'm not buying anything. And the agent went, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm just having an open house and I wanted to personally invite you to come by this weekend. And she said, oh my God, I'd love to. So, and then they had a conversation about real estate, right? So, if you have, gives you a little bit of ammunition and a little bit more, I can do this if you've got something to say. And so if you have an open house and you want to do a property specific door hanger, that's a really great way to break that.
I love that.
Yeah. Sending mail for open houses, all those kinds of things. But we also do booklets. These are your recruiting packets for the office. And you know, those you can design if you have listing presentations or anything, any of those things that are designed in Canva that are just multiple pages, we can make them into a booklet. So, you know, just remember that booklets come in pages of 4 because one sheet of paper is 4 pages in a book. Yeah. So it's I mean, we've got lots of current stuff, but we're here. Any questions you got, or if you're thinking I've got this idea I want to do, just give us a call.
Oh, how much they have? Was it handwritten thing?
Handwritten ads 50 cents
For envelope,
per envelope.
for
Yes. But.
That, yeah, I mean, that's the benefit of it. I don't wanna see my money in the trash can as soon as they pick it up from the mailbox.
Well, and I
They
will
get a
tell you,
chance to,
as not a real estate agent, I will always look at one that will.
yeah,
If it's handwritten, if it's hand addressed and it's got a real stamp on it, they're open.
Yeah.
You know, and like for gold letters, the current advice for I buyer letters, do the handwritten, to do the stamp, to not have a return address on it at all. Because people are like, damn, I have to see, make sure it's not a check from somebody that I didn't realize I was getting.
so I can write down what I want inside and you're going to use my template
You mean the inside of the card?
or inside.
You write it down one time. We digitize it and then we print it on all of the cards. And then the handwriting machine does the physical hand addressing of the envelope.
Which I think is cool, it is.
Yeah, and we find that if you looked at the handwriting on the inside, it looks, you know, you can tell if you stare at it real close, it is printed, but it's pretty good. Yeah. So.
Well, Well, I would love to hear what you're going to do, or if you have any great ideas that you got today. Zoom, if you're in Zoom, you can take yourself off mute too. What are you thinking? Did you learn?
Oh, also, if you use Pro Elements and you do not have Canva Pro, when you send it to us, it will unlock it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, because you still can put it there?
Yeah.
Still put it there.
They'll just have a watermark, but when you send them to us, when we open them, they won't, it will be.
We like that.
But still, just get Canva Pro, it'll save you so much
Yeah.
headache.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there's a reason they charge for it, because the stuff is in, it's good.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Thank you so much to Carrie. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it so much, and we're here to help, so let us know if you need, if you have.
You know, I have never used any company for, I mean, maybe there's no fun, anything, because I thought this was something like very expensive. But now it's been very affordable, and it's easy to use. It's, now I have another person that we share the office. I'm gonna share with her all the information, because she will love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be a great thing to share. Yeah, very affordable.
Yes, very, very.
Oh, share. Thank you guys.